statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, I just want to start off by thanking the fans for another unbelievable environment. Their energy was contagious for our football team, and they fed off each other all 4 quarters. And we missed that field goal. For our fans to be going crazy like that at the end was really special, and I really appreciate them. And I'm asking them to do it one more time. Why stop now? For Florida, these seniors, for senior day, deserve to see that one more time. And so would appreciate it if you could make your plans for next Saturday night to be here at Faurot Field. Really proud of our entire football team. All 3 phases came to play today. Starts with Coach Baker and the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they held Tennessee to the lowest point total, and I think since he's been here, is what Chris Trevino just told me. So that was really awesome. They're the number 1 rushing offense in the SEC. I think we held them to 50-something yards or something. Well, I guess I got the stats in front of me. Well, it doesn't matter, but held them to 83 yards. We ran the ball for 255. Obviously the pick 6 at the end was really impressive by Dalen Carnell, but overall, just defensively, the way they played was unbelievable. Offensively, controlled the clock the entire game. I thought the individual play of Cody Schrader was unbelievable for him to put us on his shoulders the way he did. Incredible. I mean, I don't know that there's a more impressive performance than to rush for 207 yards and to receive 116 yards out of the backfield. What an incredible day that little Superman had for us. I can't call him the Smurf anymore. He's risen to a new level. He's Superman now. So really proud of him. And then lastly, we're the Tennessee State champs. We beat Vandy, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and Memphis this season. So we'll go ahead and take that honor too. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
You kind of touched on it a little bit, but do you feel like all around this was the most complete game you've seen from your team this season?
Yeah, there's zero doubt about that. Really proud of those guys. A little bit of nerves there when we were settling for field goals, but just because I knew how quickly they could score. But really didn't have to worry about it today the way our defense was playing.
Eli, regarding Cody, I wonder if you could just go back to your first impression when you first met him and just kind of track the arc of what it means for him to have accomplished what he has.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I met him was when all the guys reported in January 2 years ago, when he was a walk-on running back who bet on himself, believed in himself, and said, hey, I'm going to try to play at the highest level. And then he's a testament to hard work, determination, plus talent. And he is a very talented player. And I think some of the things that gets lost in his story is that maybe he feels like, I'm not, it's not like I got to be careful how I say it. He's a very special, talented player, okay? And we're not just handing it out to him. He's worked really hard. He takes care of his body. He's in the weight room all the time. He's in the training room all the time. And he knows his job cold, whether it's protections or plays. And so, he just showed up every day, does his job, and when his number was called, he's always made the most of it.
And when you've got a guy like that in this era, recruiting is such a big deal, obviously.
Yeah.
It's the lifeblood, and yet he's a little different than that. It's sort of testimony to you that there's room for guys not on the charts the same way.
Well, I think number one core value that we've preached here is always compete. And that's an open invitation to anybody that believes in themselves, that believes they can come in here and compete. We're going to have an opportunity for you. And every day you got to compete. And whether we're talking about Cody Schrader or Brady Cook or Armand Mimbu or Javon Foster or Tyron Hopper or Chuck Hicks, these guys just showed up every day to compete, and their ascension has been pretty special.
Eli, we talked about his toughness, his
Yeah.
dedication, but his skill, his speed, what makes him so hard to bring down, and also what makes him better as the game goes along?
He's just so gritty. I mean, he's got a stubborn refusal to quit in anything he does. He's got really big lower halves. He's just a butcher ball of muscle. He's got great instinct, short area quickness. His ability to stop and cut back behind somebody creates an arm tackle, and you're not going to be able to tackle him. Crud, there was one tackle. He got smoked, got up talking trash. I mean, the dude's got the biggest chip on his shoulder, and I'm fortunate to coach him.
Do you feel like the series that he had of runs to end the first half were kind of influencing how the game played out?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I mean, what a headsy. Here's the deal. The way he runs is like you're going to have to sacrifice your body to tackle him because he's sacrificing his. It's like a big game of chicken, and he ain't no chicken.
Eli, your team had almost 40 minutes time of possession. Was
Yeah.
that a kind of game plan going in to kind of keep the clock on your side?
Now, we just wanted to whip their butt and score points. So, I mean, if the time was on our side, great. And if it wasn't, it wasn't. But we weren't like we weren't trying to keep the ball away from them. That's just kind of who we are, you know. They do a good job of playing some deep zone cover and not allowing you to really try to have explosive plays down the field. So we had to be a little bit more gritty to try to score or just hand it to Cody.
Cody, Coach, you talked about earlier in the week that if you were going to win this game, it was going to mean stopping the Tennessee run game that you've spoken very highly of.
Yeah.
What went into preparing for that, and how did Coach Baker end up stopping the run in order to meet this goal?
He didn't make any tackles today, but Coach Peeps and Coach Smith and Coach Davis had a really good plan. We went to a sub package 3 down front, and we kind of chopped up their front a little bit. We had some of their keys. Jake Olson, one of our analysts, had identified a couple of tendencies that they had, not signals. Okay, not Connor Stallion, all right, but we had identified a couple of things that we felt like were going to be crucial for us. And then at the end of the day, all the best laid plans of mice and men, you got to go execute. And I thought Darius Robinson, Christian Williams, Jaden Jernigan, Josh Landry, Johnny Walker, Tristan Newsom had to come in and replace of Hopper with his ankle, and Chuck Hicks again played unbelievable. You know, all those guys. And then, you know, I talked earlier in the week too about we needed some overlap in our run fits, and I thought JC did a really nice job. So did Trevez. I think he had 8 tackles, and that was a big difference.
Coach, it seems like when this team gets knocked down, they don't really blink.
Yeah.
Call to Georgia, put 36 up tonight. Brady throws an early pick.
Mm-hmm.
Team doesn't blink, gets right back to it. What is it about the resiliency of this team?
Can't kill us. We've already been killed. I mean, we've been at the bottom. We were in hell last year. You know, you lose some of those games the way we did, it don't get much worse than that, you know. And so this team just said, hey, you can't kill us. We're going to fight our way out. We're going to fight for each other. And I really think that's really it. I mean, there ain't nothing y'all can do to us. I'm not saying y'all. I'm just saying there's nothing anybody can do. Like, we've already been there. Now it's just about fighting for each other, playing for each other, and we're pretty talented too, you know.
Coach, is that where the 4 quarters of hell tactical battle came up this week as far as just you've already been through hard times?
Yeah. Yeah, we're willing to go down to the depths and fight our way out, and we got to see if anybody else will go down there with us. But this team refuses to quit, and we got, 2 really difficult games left. You know, it's going to be senior week next week, and then we got a short week for a trophy. But we got a lot left to play for. I know that, and I know this team's motivated to play.
For a national audience that maybe is just now discovering Cody Schrader, should there be a Heisman campaign for Cody Schrader?
Absolutely. If you're talking about the best player in college football, who's done more for his football team than anybody else, he's the leading rusher in the SEC. When's the last time the leading rusher in the SEC on a top 10 team wasn't considered for the Heisman? I think you'd be long. I don't know. Maybe Dave Matter, who works in our SID, could look that up for us. But I mean, I think so. I think so. Tonight's performance, look at last week versus Georgia. That hadn't been done in however many years. 3. LSU, South Carolina, and the guy shows up in the biggest games and the biggest stages.
Coach, we saw after some runs from Brady tonight, he gets up and immediately has a swagger to him, pointing for first downs. Is that something that's always been there? Is that something that's kind of been building on this season?
I think we all had a little edge to us tonight because of the crowd and the excitement and the energy they brought.
How was Luke tonight? He was limping at times, but
He looked really fast on the touchdown.
Eli, what update can you provide on Tyron Hopper, and what did you kind of like from the guys who kind of stepped up behind him? Ankle injury. Nothing's broke. Sprain. Just couldn't get it back going, and with their tempo, didn't feel like we were smart to try to play him that way. Tristan did an unbelievable job. How have you kind of seen Tristan grow kind of as a player in your time here?
Yeah, I think he's a great story of just sticking to the process. He had a really good spring, And then fall camp, it didn't really click the way we thought it would, and probably wasn't getting the reps that he expected, but he just kept sticking with it, kept meeting extra with Coach Smith, kept practicing hard, and bought into his role on special teams, covering kicks, doing whatever we asked him to do, and then tonight got some extended time, and his confidence is growing.
Speaking of special teams, what did you kind of see from Blake Craig there? He obviously came in and kicked off 3 times, I think it was. What did you guys see from there?
Yeah, some good, some other things we got to work on. It's why we went back with Mevis, but really proud of our kickoff coverage. You know, I mean, last week we really didn't do as good a job as we needed to. I think this week they had 3 returns all tackled either 20 or inside the 20, so that was pretty impressive by that unit. Really proud of them for that.
Coach, last week we was talking about, before the Georgia game, third downs in
Red zone,
and
yeah.
winning the game. Guys did that today, 11-17 with third down and 4-4 in the red zone. So 5-5, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I knew extending the drives were going to be important on third downs. I thought Brady had a couple of scrambles that were really big. You know, and then obviously defensively, when you can get a third down stop against them, it obviously takes them out of their rhythm, and we were able to force them into a couple of fourth down situations where they decided to punt. So, yeah, ultimately it was really good.
Eli, you mentioned through Howell last year. What does it mean for this team, the same guys basically are able to come out the other side and enjoy this?
Yeah, I think it's just keep on going, man. When life gets you down, you just got to keep on going. That's just part of it, right? You never stop in the middle of the journey, and you never quit, and that's what a lot of these guys got, you know. I mean, Brady's not quit. D-Rob didn't quit. Ennis didn't quit when he tore his ACL. KD didn't quit when it wasn't going his way, and he moved to DB. You know, Cody Schrader didn't quit when he had to walk on here. He just kept fighting, and you know, Javon Foster and Xavier Delgado didn't quit when coaches left or coaches changed, or they just kept fighting. So, I mean, it's a tribute to those guys' character, and it'll serve them well in life. I promise you that.
Does it take a little bit more to do this beat Tennessee the way you did tonight, considering the last couple of years what Tennessee's doing?
Crud, yeah. Yeah, you went from giving up the most points to keeping them to their least amount of points. So that's a pretty good swing right there. Nice job, Bake.
Eli, the 2013 team was in attendance tonight. Did you guys have an opportunity to speak with any of them? And what is it kind of like to have, I guess, those guys around your team and kind of just talking?
Yeah, awesome. Great to see him. We didn't, you know, we were actually preparing for a football game. But we get Evan every day, so Evan always tells us those stories. So, but it's. I mean, I think that's an awesome thing. You know, I think it was in between the first and second quarter when you see that team down there, and all these guys know that in 10 or 15 or 20 years they're going to come back and be involved in an awesome environment, and what they're fighting for is worth fighting for.
You know, we're in full projection season, hot and heavy now. Is there a case you want to make for your team as it's considered for where it could go?
Now I'm playing senior week next week. That's the biggest bowl game we got. Senior week next week, senior day versus Florida. Need it sold out again. Yeah, all that other stuff, it'll take care of itself. Yeah, one more.
Coach, can you tell us how important was it for your team to kind of stack big plays on top of each other throughout the game?
Yeah, I think creating and keeping momentum is really critical in against teams like this, because with their tempo, they're able to kind of steal the momentum from you, and you kind of feel like you're always behind the 8 ball. But for us, offensively and special teams and defensively, we were always kind of able to keep them out of rhythm. And I think anytime you can keep a no-huddle team out of rhythm, it gives you a huge advantage, and that's really what we did tonight. Y'all need to talk to Cody, not me. So, MIZ.